What's up, everyone? It is Andrew here from Apple Insider. You can find me on Twitter at Andrew_OSU. And I'm talking to you today about why I'm personally going to be skipping Apple's new 24-inch iMac. Now, I don't want to disparage the new 24-inch iMac much, because honestly, it's one hell of a machine. It really is impressive. Apple did a lot of stuff right with this unit. Apple's leaning into the personalization with all of those colors. You have color-matched cables like Lightning to USB-C cables and power cables. There's unique things like putting the Ethernet port onto the power cable itself. We have color-matched peripherals like the Magic Trackpad, Magic Mouse, and Magic Keyboard, which even has a Touch ID variant built in. So really, there's a ton done with the machines themselves. Internally, it is running Apple Silicon, of course, the M1 processor, which in our testing so far has been a pretty beastly CPU, as well as GPU and everything else that's baked into it. But there is a pretty big reason that I'm gonna skip the new 24-inch models. And that is the fact that the 27-inch models are likely right around the corner. Apple, of course, said they were going to be moving to their own custom silicon inside the Mac starting in June of 2020, and they seem to be a 2-year transition, so roughly mid to the end of 2022, Apple expects to move their entire Mac line to their own custom silicon. Thus far, Apple has made the easy moves. They've moved the MacBook Air as well as the existing 13-inch MacBook Pro to the M1 processor, and just at Apple's spring-loaded event, we saw the iMac, the 21-inch, kind of go away and transition to the 24-inch model, which again is running on the M1 processor. But Apple's really done nothing for Pro users. They've still stuck with that M1 processor, which is capped at 16 gigs of RAM, and there's a few other limitations. I mean, all these machines, they only have 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports or USB 4 ports on there. And I mean, even the new iMacs, they can have 4 ports, but 2 of them are still USB 3. There's not even 4 USB 4/Thunderbolt ports on there. So there are limitations that we're running into with the M1 processor when you get into the more high-end user base. And Apple has not done anything with, really high-end graphics or CPUs. Obviously, we don't have a Mac Pro yet, and we certainly don't have a 15-inch MacBook Pro, and we definitely don't have a 27-inch iMac. The 27-inch iMac is really well suited. I mean, people were even leaving the iMac Pro and going to the 27-inch iMac because it had been updated more recently and had a lot higher end configurations that you could kind of jump to even if it had a different CPU class. So there's a huge audience for that 27-inch iMac, and what we just saw what Apple do with the current iMac, the 24-inch iMac, it leaves a lot of potential for the 27-inch. And even what we're seeing with the iPad Pro. I am really expecting to see a 27-inch iMac with an absolutely gorgeous display built in, an M2 or an M1X processor, as well as a lot of the things that we saw Apple do with the new 24-inch iMac. Things like putting the Ethernet into the power brick, and of course coming out with hopefully some really nice stellar accessories to go with it, such as the peripherals, the new keyboard line with Touch ID built in and all of that. There's a lot that I expect. So as a pro user, prosumer, whatever you want to label me, I'm looking for a little bit more than what we're seeing with that M1 processor. And while it would get me by, I'd have no problem doing work. I've done work on the M1 processor, and it absolutely is fire for getting stuff done. But I still need more than what the M1 is capable of. And it seems like recent rumors are pointing to that 27-inch iMac coming out later in 2021. So with a new 27-inch iMac slated for later this year, it really leaves me not wanting to try the 24-inch iMac. As cool as it looks and as nice as a lot of the features are, the 27-inch iMac is, I think, the one that I'm looking for. So while I really want to get that new 24-inch iMac, the 27-inch is what I'm going to be most likely waiting for. So personally, for me, I'm skipping the 24-inch iMac, but I want to know what you guys think. Are you going to be picking up the 24-inch iMac? Are you going to be waiting for a 27-inch iMac? Or are you maybe waiting for a redesigned Mac Pro? Or maybe you're looking for something more portable, like a 14-inch MacBook Pro or a new 16-inch MacBook Pro. Let me know over on Twitter at Andrew_OSU, and I'll catch all of you guys in the next video.